Okay, we've got a pack. Let's have a look. So, rare that I've not opened before. Quicksmith Spy, target artifact gets tap, draw a card. That seems solid. Aeronaut Admiral, I've seen this happen. This do some good things. Obviously, if you pick a couple of vehicles, they tends to make them pretty unbeatable, but pretty solid. Lifecrafter's Gifts, fine, but not first pick. Aether Chaser is probably the fighting for the best red common slot with Shock, of course. Probably slightly outbeaten by Shock, but still a great card. Aether Poisoner, Aether Sweeper, great cards in their respective colours. Caught in the Brights is not as good as I thought it was. It definitely seemed a lot better, but the fact that vehicles can still be crewed, it's yeah, it means that it's definitely not as good as we thought it was. So my options right now, we play the Spy, try and build into an artifact-based blue deck, get some value out of drawing cards, or the Chaser. I think we take the rare. Obviously, I'm still new to this format. We're going to take the rare and see what we can do around it. Artifact theme means we can do a lot of improvising, which, as I mentioned before, I do want to give a good whack. Probably one of the least exciting rares. It's one of those cards that has a good feeling to it, but then when you actually go to play it and you realise that when you're playing this card, you're basically winning the game. Whatever. The extra ability means basically nothing. So you're paying it's a 3-mana threatened sorcery, which is fine, but I don't think it's really a rare slot. Looking at otherwise, obviously the Windkin Raiders are pretty good. If you can get 1 or 2 off the cost, you're feeling really good if you're paying 4 mana for a 4/3 flying. Strangler's a fine 3-drop. Filler Ice Over is okay. The implements are all solid if you're getting a lot of a lot of Revolt stuff happening. And I don't think the Assembler's that good. I don't think there's that many artifacts that are good enough that you want to pay 7 mana to copy. I mean, except for like Metalwork Colossus. At the moment, I'm going to stay on colour, take the good card. Sorry, waffling a bit. Okay, SRAM. I don't mind SRAM. It's basically a bear that it's minor upside bear is how I would describe it. Basically, you're gonna get or equipment or vehicle. They're not going to be the main cards in deck, so you might run 3 or 4 of them. I'm probably not going to pick it early because it is most of the time just going to be a bear with, again, very minor upside. Hornet, as battlefield, creature seems to fit well into a black-green +1/+1 counter deck. Scrapper Champion, I don't mind, haven't played it yet. 4 mana for a 2/2, double strike, getting energy, and you can pay energy to give it counter, similar to the thriving cycle of the last of Triple Kaladesh. 2/3 flyer we can stick on colour with is probably what I'm going to be doing here. The Aeronaut is worse than it looks. This I like, but not taking this early. Let's stay on colour. I wouldn't have minded taking the double strike guy, but let's see how we go. Not seen this one before. Let's have a squeezy here. Tap X untapped artifacts you control. Took the top X cards into your library. Put one of them. Seems unexciting, right? So 4 mana and a tap to look at. Okay, yeah, no. At the moment, we're sticking on colour, I think, here. All these cards, like, I don't mind the Automaton. That's low. That's unexciting. You're not playing the gate main. Tampering's good if you want to have in any of your red decks, but at the moment, the Swooper, obviously evasion with the ability to bring in artifacts is just fine. Another Windkin Raiders. Maybe I have this card too high, but I think it is definitely fine. Like, I mean, there's only one uncommon takedown in this pack, the rest have all been commons, so I think that's better than, you know, a decent chunk of the common pile. If we're going to have a look, I don't know if I want, the only, you know, you don't want the second 6-drop if you don't have that guarantee, if you will, of artifacts coming through to you. You could play Implements, you could play a Mobile Garrison, which is unexciting. Look, I'll take the Windkin Raiders. I'm probably not going to main board it, but we'll stick on colour, we'll send signals, all that kind of boring stuff. And we'll see what happens. So again, I mean, the blue cards are coming, they're not Windmill Slam cards. Like this is a whatever, it's slightly better than a Windrake. It's comparable to a Windrake, which is a slightly below playable, but fine. Obviously, the goal at the moment, all my creatures are flying, so we're looking at keeping in the air. We're looking at just kind of getting the damage in, see what happens. Now, this is a card you definitely want to look at in the improvised deck. Actually, you kind of want both of those. But obviously, at the point where I don't have any, I've got one way to make an artifact and no actual artifact cards. So I'm going to have to look at prioritizing that moving forward. I don't particularly want cards like this, but I think I'm going to take the Brawler and just try and see what I can pull out of it. I may even mean playing cards like this. The Osprey's not bad. I could look at a blue-white skies deck instead, cut this down to break my curve better. I mean, I don't hate Rebuke, but it's definitely not the way that I like to play Magic. I'm definitely not a counterspell guy. I think what I'm looking at this point is looking at a Skies deck. I'm going to take this thing and see what keeps coming. See, again, I think Aether Sweeper is obviously better than a lot of people here in my draft seem to think, because obviously it's only 1 power, but it's a way to get artifacts into play. It's evasion for what it matters, and it's fine. It's whatever. It's fine. I've not played with this card before. Seems fine. Instant speed stuff's happening. Maybe just fill out the last couple of packs. That's not unplayable, but you're not excited to play it by any stretch. So I'd really like to open up a really good red card, a really good white card, or a really good artifact, is basically where I'm at going into pack 2. I want to try and fill out my curve with 2 and 3 drop artifacts to make my improvised cards not terrible. And I want to be able to look at picking a second colour, whichever way I decide to go. I don't think anything else was majorly open there. There was a couple of black cards coming through, but not enough to signal strongly to me. I think blue was the most open card. Sorry, most open colour there. I don't want to play this if I don't have to. I mean, the goal is, like, obviously 2 drop artifacts are better because they're improvising this guy out, where a 3 drop doesn't actually make it better unless you're missing your land drops. Probably don't want to play that. Probably not playing that main board. Let's see what happens. Right, so we open up Midnight Entourage, and this is not a card I've actually seen before. Oh, it's the Aetherborn Lord. So whenever at midnight or another Aetherborn, you draw a card and lose a life. Cool. I don't particularly think I want it. I think I do either want to be white or red as my secondary colour. So what's jumping out at me here? Treasure Keeper's a good card, just colourless. Eagle's good on white. Prey Upon's obviously a nice green card. There's some implements. Nothing's taking my breath away. I think if I take the Dawn for the Eagle, I'm kind of moving out of any chance of being the blue-red improvised deck, which means that we're cutting at least one of the Windkin Raiders, but still trying to pick up some 2-3 drops. Otherwise, I mean, Precise Strike is not the worst card that you'll ever play in the Magic tournament. I think we'll take the Dawn Feather Eagle. We're looking at white. I'm not saying it is extremely open, but it seems fine. Is that For in blue-white, that's a card to be in blue-white with, but then there's the Renegade map, which we would probably want looking at the deck, looking at the improvised deck. So choices are, Aether Thief is good. Or Aether Thief is fine if you're looking at blocking, I should say. It's not just straight up good. The Plunderer gives you counters, isn't really doing anything with my deck at the moment besides that little bit of energy I'm getting from the Aether Swoopers. I think we're just taking the Spire Patrol and basically locking into blue-white, or we're taking the Revolution to try and push into red. I think we'll take the Spire Patrol for now. Again, we're still, you know, we're still open. I don't mind a 1-of or 2-of Ice Over. I've played them in a few decks now, and they kind of do what you want them to do. The fact that they can take out, well, they can't tap the creature that you're hitting, but they can definitely help you out once you've taken the first hit or had a way to tap it otherwise. Otherwise, we're playing a second Dawn Feather Eagle. So what does my curve look like? Wow, I really need some artifacts. Really need some artifacts. Implement? Yeah, I'll play 2 Eagles, so definitely want to focus. Ooh, that's a rare. Definitely want to look at ways to get artifacts into my deck. But I'm not extremely happy with how the deck's going at the moment, because we definitely do need to look at picking up the artifacts. I don't know how good this is in Constructed. Automaton, just as an artifact, is not terrible. Without having red mana, makes it a lot worse. I think basically, so look at the deck we're looking at, it's either Disallow or Aether Inspector, and Aether Inspector is not, it is below par. So I'm going to take the Disallow slightly because of the rarity. I don't think I'm going to play it. I have no idea what that was. Let's have a look. Crusher's not the worst card. Conviction's not terrible. It does trigger Revolt, which I have none of. I might just take the Crusher. It just deals some damage. Obviously, it's not evasive. It's an artifact which can matter. Could matter. I'm in Hobart, down south. Crusher. I like Automaton. Sort of smooths out your draws a bit. Gives you something to do with your mana. Map's what we want. Map's going to do. Oh, Lancet. I've only actually moved down to Hobart about, that's a white red card, 12, 13 months ago, and I've been in Hobart since I've been here. I grew up in New South Wales, but still actually yet to go up to Lonnie, but I've been told, actually you hear a lot of native Hobartians, if you will, don't like Lonnie. They tell you Lonnie's the worst place you can go if you come to town, but in Melbourne now. Yeah, fair enough. It's definitely an upgrade to go from Lonnie to Melbourne. These packs are drying up and not giving me anything. I'm still a couple of good artifacts away from this being excitable. I don't think I want to play the Disallow, but I'm probably not going to get to play with it very much anyway. Obviously the best cards I can open looking, there's a lot of triplet cards. I guess I'll play the Aether Thief and hold down the ground for me while my flyers do some damage. May give me an extra couple of Aether Sweeper stuff every now and then, and a couple of cards being drawn isn't the worst thing that you can do. Sideboard Negate. Hobart's a hole. Yeah, I think there's a bit of rivalry back and forth between the old Hobart and Lonnie. I don't mind. Like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, New South Wales, so it's an upgrade for me. But I can definitely see why it's not that great. Cool. Getting a bit of chaff. Obviously, yeah, I would open the 5-drop flyer guy, whatever it's called. Um, but yeah, 1 and 2 drops artifacts is still what I'm looking for. I think someone's hitting artifacts heavy because I'm just not seeing them. So someone's in red. I didn't get any of the 5-drop hexproof guy either, which I expected to see at least 1 or 2 of. But that's fine. I wouldn't mind some Inventor's Goggles maybe. Inventor's Goggles got just so much better in this format. Rashmi. I do actually really like Rashmi. But I'm not playing it in this deck. I guess a pretty obvious glint sleeve artisan here. I could look at Padim. I think I've never played Padim, and I've never particularly wanted to play Padim. I've never drawn a card from it. Rejection is obviously a card that sees constructed play. Inquiries, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're taking the artisan. It's probably the best white common in this set pack. This set. Yeah. Here it's turtles, goggles, peafowl, manure. I mean, there's definitely a couple of options, things I could take. I think I just want to take the goggles. There's so many artificers in this deck, and it helps me convoke out my guys, which is just fine. It links to this guy. There's a lot of positives to the Inventor's Goggles. I'm sitting on 15 creatures, which is a fine number. I'm sitting on 18, 20 playables. Yeah, I'm not heavy looking for anything, and basically, as we can see, the goal at the moment is we are mostly a Skies deck with a little bit of stuff here, meaning that we want to attack with our flyers and just beat face. I don't think it's a deck for Inspired Charge. It's not a deck for Surveillance. Well, it could be. Era of Innovation seems less good in this format than I thought it was. I played it in one of my last decks, and it was just whatever. When I drew it, I wasn't excited, and when I didn't draw it, I didn't really care. Hey, DM, thanks for dropping in. I'm trying to make it a regular thing. Saturdays for Magic and Wednesdays for Hearthstone, as you know. But trying to keep a solid schedule, and make sure people know that I'm here, and I'm going to be doing this for a while now. I'll take the Inspired Charge. I don't think I'm going to play the Inspired Charge, but who knows? So where are we? 33 cards in. We've still got a few picks. I've got 3 cards that I'll happily replace. Need to get another 2 to 5 for my main deck. I don't want Captured by the Consulate. I could take an Eager Construct. It's definitely... I think so. I hated playing Eager Constructs in Triple Kaladesh. It just seems such bad beats. I could play the Puzzle Knot, even though I can't activate the ability. It's still going to give me a free card for a life and be able to convoke out some stuff. The Patrol's not the worst card, but it's definitely not great by any stretch. I think I've talked myself into. Have I? What's better, a 2/2 or a free card? That basically do the same thing otherwise. I think this is the 2/2s. Is the 2/2 better? Yeah, we'll take the 2/2. Ballista Charge is not unplayable. Ibex is fine. Windrake is... Windrake is Windrake. Everyone knows Windrake. Blade Master, I don't have that. I'm actually pretty low on non-creature spells, so it's probably not going to do much for me. It's just a 2/3 and I've got 2/3s up here. Charger can do a lot of work in terms of taking out some other guys. We'll stick with the fly thing. We haven't picked up any good flyers lately. What else are we looking for? Puzzle Knot, Trade Winds. What am I doing that's coming into play? I mean, Dawn Feather Eagle obviously coming into play is my big upside there. Quicksmith Spy, if my artifact gets taken out. Aether Sweepers do some stuff when they come into play. So it's either Trade Winds or Puzzle Knot. Scry 2, get 2 energy. The only energy outlets I have are the Aether Sweepers. And there's probably nothing else really exciting coming on from that. Might take the Trade Winds because I am low on removal as well. I didn't get anything else overly exciting in the removal side of things. What are we up to? We're up to Turtle, Maneuver, Reservoir. I'm not taking the Reservoir. Somebody else can have fun with that. Thriving Turtle. I haven't played Turtle for a while. Maybe just Fragmentize. Sideboard frag. Meltdown, Peafowl, Windrake. So these to the side because they're my maybe cards. We can always bring them back in later. Do we just slam the 3 drops? Yeah. This is probably going to be wrong. We'll go Meltdown. Go Meltdown. Last chance Meltdown. The idea being that it's helping me hold down the ground while my flyers do some good beats. Rejection as a... They're still worth a couple of bucks, I think. Maneuver. Thriving Turtle. I mean, this is obviously the same pick as before. Thriving Turtle. Could even look at Mastodon. I don't particularly want anything up this end. We'll take a Turtle. Probably won't play it though. Rebuffs. Not going to get played. And then we're just filling up our sideboard with cards that we're not going to play, because that's always fun. Hey, rares. Rares are good. Okay, so we're at 22 cards that we're happy to play. Then we might have a look through the old sideboard and see what we want to do. Obviously, we've got those counter spells in there. Again, countering's not my normal speed. Basically, we just need to look at what do we plan to do with this deck, with the answer obviously being that we want to fly into faces and do damage that way. But let's look at our non-creature spells, because we've got a good amount of creatures. I'm always happy to have creatures. I like the map, just an improviser. Removal, two pieces of removal which aren't great. Spy Patrol is some temporary removal, I guess. I suppose it's all temporary removal, really. Leaving the yeah. Couple of ways to temporarily help out the board. So we're not playing red, are we? No, we're definitely not playing red. Let's look blue-white colourless. I mean, I don't hate Inspired Charge in any deck, because sometimes it can get you across the line, but other times it's just so dead. Dispersal Technician, another leave, disallow, spell ability to trigger. I mean, it kills Planeswalkers, it stops Planeswalkers. Still gives them the loyalty, but stops their ability from happening. But I don't particularly want to be not doing things on 3 to keep up a counter spell. So I can play Aether Inspector, which gives me another artifact, potentially Thriving Turtle as a 1-drop, or I can play a random 3-drop creature, which isn't overly exciting. I'd 17 lands in this deck. We'll play the discard. Like I said, I don't know if it's right, but I'm not going to get that many opportunities to play with it, so... sideboard cards that actually matter, obviously Fragmentize. Inspired Charge could come in. Thriving Turtle against a super aggro deck. So there's things that could happen in the sideboard. A lot of times I find myself with these decks where there's no sideboard, and it's just kind of the deck you're playing is what you're going to play with and deal with it. But it's good to have some options there. Not gonna lie. Alright, so obviously we're heavy blue, so probably even look at 10-7, hey? Probably not 13-4. 10-7 seems reasonable. I've got the map which helps match it up. Yeah. Could we be red? We've also got more. We've obviously got some red cards. Let me just double check. I've got the Brawler. What does this do? Nothing. No. Okay. Well, we've got one red card we could play. All right. Yeah. So we're blue-white. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and thanks for coming.